Do you frequently catch yourself daydreaming about overseas experiences and traveling to other locations while gazing out your cubicle window? Many of us have the same desire of escaping the 9-to-5 grind, and more individuals are really doing it. You say, sure, maybe I'll work abroad once I win the lottery. Travel doesn't have to be expensive, which is wonderful news. There are numerous reasonably priced nations where you can live, work, and possibly even vacation while getting considerably more for your money. We're going to look at the 10 most affordable and desirable places to live and work today. Though first, how working overseas can benefit from having a cheaper cost of living. The majority of people assume that long-term travel or living abroad will be extremely expensive, and yes, if you choose pricey destinations, your hard-earned money may not go very far. But you might be amazed at how well you can live on a moderate wage if you stay away from popular, extremely costly locations, like Italy or Australia, and stick to some of the cheapest countries to live and work in. When you might be traveling the world, enjoying adventures, and making a good living. Why toil away in a downtown office? In actuality, one of the main incentives for many people to relocate and find employment abroad is a low cost of living. Your expenses should be reduced even though salaries are frequently lower. Additionally, there are lots of high-paying professions to be had, allowing you to live in a low-cost location while yet stretching your budget even further. Here are the top 10 least expensive places to live and work this year, as determined by thoughtful travelers like you. 1. Vietnam. Vietnam is any budget traveler's dream if they wish to live and work in an exotic location without spending a fortune. For foreigners, it's one of the best and most affordable places to reside. There is a lot to see and do in Vietnam, despite the fact that it is still somewhat of an undiscovered gem when it comes to affordable places to live and explore. Vietnam is a place for travelers seeking adventure as well as beautiful landscapes to explore and delectable native cuisine. Ho Chi Minh City in the south, Hanoi, the nation's capital, in the north, and Da Nang in the country's center are the major cities. These cities will have the majority of jobs. The Vietnamese dong is one of the few currencies that has declined in value against the dollar over the past few years, currently trading at roughly VND 23,000 to $1. Popular occupations. Teaching English is the most sought-after position for foreign nationals in Vietnam. There are many chances for English teachers, and the average monthly salary is better than in many of the nearby nations, $1,100 to $1,700. Cost of living. Similar to most other nations, Vietnam's cost of living is based on the city or area you choose to reside in. Of course, living in cities like Ho Chi Minh and Hanoi is more expensive, but the pay is also higher. If you stick to local eateries or street food, a small flat may be rented for about $250 per month, while meals out cost about $1 to $3 and about $10 in Western-style eateries. Local public transportation costs as little as 30 cents, while taxi fares start at just 50 cents per kilometer. 2. Costa Rica. Not simply because it's one of the 10 cheapest places to live, Costa Rica is undoubtedly the most well-known nation in Central America. You will fall in love with this country and its pura vida feel right away thanks to the lush jungles, beautiful beaches, and welcoming residents. Additionally, Costa Rica is one of the least expensive nations for Americans to live in, so you won't have to go bankrupt while residing there and performing employment. The simplicity with which one may book inexpensive flights from the US adds to the appeal of traveling to Costa Rica. Costa Rica is more expensive than neighboring nations like Guatemala and Nicaragua, but the salary premium more than makes up the difference. Popular occupations include English teaching, tourism, and scuba diving. The cost of living is approximately $3-6 for a meal at a nearby restaurant, $300 $800 for rent depending on the size and location of the apartment, and 70 cents for local transportation each way. Gapeforce is offering a recommended position as a diving instructor. 3. Bulgaria. Bulgaria may surprise you as one of the cheapest places to live and work, but bear with us. If the high cost of living in nations like France and Italy deters you from working and living abroad in Europe, focus your attention on Eastern Europe. Bulgaria is one of the least expensive places to live in Europe and has swiftly gained popularity among tourists. With countries like Greece, Turkey, and Romania just on your doorstep, Bulgaria's turn-contained makes it the ideal place to explore the region on a small budget. With a history that dates back more than 8,000 years, Bulgaria has a rich and dynamic culture. Jobs in tourism and teaching English are popular here. Cost of living. A one-bedroom apartment can be rented for as little as $230 per month. A lunch at a budget restaurant will cost you about $5, and public transportation can be had for as little as $1. Recommendation: become an English teacher with the International TEFL Academy in Bulgaria. Mexico. Bravo, Mexico. Why go farther than necessary when Mexico is typically only a quick flight away for Americans and Canadians? Everybody can benefit from Mexico. Think of the pristine Caribbean waters, Mayan ruins in the rainforest, and relaxed beach villages along the Pacific. Oh, and have we already brought up the street food? The food is not only mouthwatering, but also quite affordable, with options ranging from tacos to tamales, ceviche to aguas frescas. Living expenses might be considerably lower than in Western cities if you stay away from tourist traps like Cancun or Playa del Carmen and choose more regional locations instead, like Merida or Guanajuato. Popular jobs here: tourism, teaching English, au pair, and sales positions are all available. The cost of living ranges from $200 to $500 a month for a one-bedroom apartment, while a monthly pass for local transportation starts at $16. Suggested career: work as an au pair in Mexico. 5. South Africa. Do you genuinely wish to work and live abroad but are concerned about misinterpreting certain words? You no longer need to worry, because there are also some reasonably priced English-speaking nations, such as South Africa, which ranks number 5 on our list of the greatest and most affordable places to live. South Africa may be the least expensive English-speaking nation to reside in. You won't need to attend language school, and most South African cities have a high level of living that is comparable to that of Western cities, which will make the transition much simpler. This puts it in the running to be the least expensive English-speaking nation to live in. The southernmost country in Africa is also one of the world's most culturally and racially diverse nations, as if that weren't enough. You won't get bored in South Africa because there are safaris, whale watching, river rafting, and zip lines, among other activities. Popular occupations: even though South Africa is an English-speaking nation with 10 other official languages, teaching English is still a well-liked career path. Additionally, a wide variety of opportunities in tourism and with multinational corporations are available. The cost of living is approximately $350 to $500 per month for a one-bedroom apartment, $1.70 for a domestic beer, and $8 for a lunch at a nearby restaurant. Work on a humanitarian photography project with roots and turns. This is a recommended position. 6. China. While China may not be your traditional work abroad location, it is possible to work there and earn a very good living. There are numerous jobs available and higher salaries than in many other Asian nations. Additionally, the economy is booming. Of course, living in a big city like Shanghai or Beijing would cost more money, but incomes will also be much greater. Many work abroad programs will offer events and even throw in free Mandarin classes, so you might even end up learning a completely new language while there. China is an amazing nation to explore. Popular occupations: the most sought after employment for foreigners in China is teaching English, although it's also simple to get au pair positions. Cost of living: if you stay away from the largest cities, the cost of living in China can be surprisingly affordable. A lunch at a nearby restaurant costs about $3, and rent for a one-bedroom apartment starts at $300. Recommendation: sign up with Au Pair to work as an au pair in China. 7. South Korea. Although South Korea isn't the most affordable place to work and live, it made this list because of the highly competitive earnings and the frequent inclusion of free housing and programs, which greatly lowers the cost of living. Given that South Korea is renowned as one of the best locations in the world for teaching English as a foreign language, teaching English is the natural career choice. The beautiful and diverse countryside, the amazing food, and the kind people make Korea an excellent place to work, explore, and save money. Korea's contemporary cities are on par with those in the US and Europe. 7. Although South Korea isn't the most affordable place to work and live, it made this list because of the highly competitive earnings and the frequent inclusion of free housing and programs, which greatly lowers the cost of living. Given that South Korea is renowned as one of the best locations in the world for teaching English as a foreign language, teaching English is the natural career choice. The beautiful and diverse countryside, the amazing food, and the kind people make Korea an excellent place to work, explore, and save money. Korea's contemporary cities are on par with those in the US and Europe. Popular jobs here: teaching English, sales. Cost of living: although higher than in other Southeast Asian nations, Korea's cost of living is still quite reasonable, with one-bedroom apartment leases starting at about $375 and restaurant prices as low as $6. 8. Thailand. Thailand must be mentioned on any list of the best and most affordable nations in the world. Even before the movie The Beach, travelers all around the world had fallen in love with the country of smiles. Even in populated areas like Bangkok and Chiang Mai, the cost of living is incredibly inexpensive. Beach resorts typically cost a little bit more, but they are still inexpensive when compared to other beach resorts throughout the globe. Thailand is the ideal country to live and work because of its clean waters, rich culture, and mouth-watering cuisine. To top it off, Thailand is also one of the safest and least expensive countries in which to reside. Popular jobs here, teaching English is the most common, but hospitality jobs are also available. 1. Cost of living. In Chiang Mai, for instance, you can get by quite fine on $600 a month. 1. At street booths, markets, and food courts in malls, $1 lunches are available. 1. In a building designed in the West, rent for a private studio can be as cheap as $150 per month. 1. The cost of a bus ride starts at about 30 cents. 2. Job recommendation. Teach English at Media Kids Academy in Thailand.